superstition.
In one moment, a gift most humans never receive in a lifetime.
Stand by for action.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
What I do on this show doesn't matter. My legacy is cemented. I'm good with the listeners. They adore me. And what I say doesn't matter.
Jeff Lutz.
All you do is make it about you. During the show, I want to be available and accessible.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Stand by for action.
Hello again, everybody. It is the Bob and Jeff Show, a Wednesday edition here on KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz with you for the next couple of hours. Max Power here as well. He is the producer and engineer of the show. So we're trying to monitor the weather. We didn't get to play games last night. We're not sure about tonight. What can you what help can you give me out of Storm Team 12?
I don't know. The rain chances seem to have dissipated, or at least the schedule has pushed back a little bit. When I got on some weather apps this morning, said basically rain all day, and we see that it hasn't rained, and now it's showing that it may start around 6. But who knows?
It's telling me here 2:30. Here's what we have on the radar as we speak. We're in the we're like a rain sandwich here.
Right in the middle.
We got a piece of bread on the east, a piece of bread on the west, and we're right in the middle where there's no precipitation.
Not at the moment. At least we know not both of those can hit us.
So right now, Wichita in the clear. But look what's coming.
A lot of green. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. When I
look down here in Oklahoma, that often is the stuff that eventually gets to us. It's just saturated.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's driving me nuts.
We'll see what happens.
It's driving me nuts.
It might fade away. It might strengthen. It might hit us. It might not. I can't.
I expected you to learn more about weather patterns in this time you've been at KWCA.
No, not really.
I thought you'd delve in.
Is Ross Jansen learning a lot about the digital product and what I do?
Well, probably.
No, not really. He does his job. I do mine, and we produce, and we go on our merry way and run like a well-oiled machine.
Well, when I was at the Eagle, I made an attempt to learn about everything.
No, you didn't.
Sure I did. Business, aviation.
Tell us one thing about aviation.
If you have a faulty wing, you're not going to get up in the air.
Oh, that's a good observation.
I learned that.
You didn't know that before?
From our aviation people.
Who are your aviation people back in the day?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. For many, many, many years, even before I got there and then after I was there was a guy named Lou Townsend who covered aviation, and he kept these manila folders all over the place. He had them stacked to the ceiling practically. I'll never forget where his desk was, right adjacent to the sports department at that time. And Lou Townsend it just felt like he knew everything there was to know about aviation.
That's a good beat guy.
And then Molly McMillan.
That's what I thought. I know she's doing stuff with aviation now. It wasn't
at the time when I left. She was is outstanding. And then there were several others in between those two. But those are the two I remember the most.
Absolutely. Two good ones.
You don't remember Lou Townsend.
and Mac.
You don't remember Lou Townsend.
Of course I do.
No,
all those manila folders he had, how could I forget that?
You were never there when Lou Townsend worked.
His folders were stuff.
Name some other reporters from that era.
Bob Getz.
No. Bob and Lou probably did cross over. Name some others.
Russ Corbett.
That's easy. That's from that's from sports.
Mal Elliott.
Well, sure, of course.
I'm doing a heck of a job.
Who else?
I don't know how many you need me to name.
Name three more.
I don't know. 3 more? I don't even know. What era would this even
be?
Name
a news reporter. 70s.
News reporter in the 70s. I can't.
Well, that's too bad.
Can't name any. Was Rick Plumley doing news at that time?
What about Frank Garofalo? What about...
Never heard of him.
What about Dick Dillsaver?
Who?
Dick Dillsaver. legendary
I'll take your
reporter
word for it.
in the Wichita Eagle annals of history.
I don't know how
These
many
are people
dills.
that had an influence.
I don't know how many dills he saved, but it wasn't enough.
Why are you making fun of him?
I'm not making fun of him.
You've not done one thing that Dick Dillsaver couldn't have done.
Believe
Do you
me.
understand
Believe
that?
me, I know.
You haven't done one thing
That's
to compare.
You
to him.
couldn't have said it any better.
To compare to him. You're not even in the same conversation.
That's who?
You heard me. You're not even there.
It's
In 40 years, do you think somebody will mention you were at the KWCH at one time?
maybe. Hard to say. Probably not.
Well, maybe.
But I'm okay with that.
What if they don't?
Then it won't matter.
Those things don't matter to you.
Nothing will matter. It'll be all over for everybody.
Why don't those things matter to you a little bit?
Maybe they
more?
will eventually, but as of now, they do not.
Where'd this come from? We started the cashless tolling on the turnpike. I got to get my K tag doesn't work. I got to figure some
What
things
do you mean
out.
your K tag doesn't work? Have you been paying for it?
Yeah, they take it from my license plate.
Well, then why doesn't it work?
I got to get out there and
That's
figure
not
that
what
out.
K tag is. K tag is something you put on your.
Yeah, I know, but they read my
windshield.
license plate. My K tag's malfunctioned, and I got to figure
so you
that
don't
out.
pay?
Yeah, they take it from my license plate. They have. This is what they do.
Yeah, but that's not what is supposed to happen. You can't just go through and not
Sure,
pay.
you can. Then they'll take it. They'll get with you. I've got an account.
Just go through and pay.
They take it out of my account.
That's awful. What a selfish act. A disgusting act that is.
I feel like I'm entitled a little bit.
Awful.
Why is it awful?
Because you don't have a K tag.
They don't mind.
How
You know what I said?
Why does the gate even go up for
You know what I said when I called? There's no gate anymore. You just drive through. I said, by the way, my K-tag's malfunctioning. And they were pretty stern at first. Well, now, wait a minute, they said. We're going to need to correct that because we're not going to. And I said, well, I know. I understand. This is Bob Lutz, and I apologize.
Who?
This is Bob Lutz? And immediately they said,
The car guy?
just drive through it.
And we'll still charge you for
Yeah,
it.
if you want to. This was at a
Probably
time.
double.
This was at a time when the gates did exist, and they said, this is truth. Go ahead and knock them down if you need to.
How many gates did you knock over in your day?
That's how nice they were to me.
Well, that is nice that you would ruin their equipment and they'd be fine with it.
I appreciate the folks at KDOT for the work they do.
Isn't Tim Potter out at KDOT now or somewhere?
I don't know where Tim is. Another fantastic former Eagle reporter.
Yeah.
I sat directly across the tile floor from him for
What was
several
his
years.
gig? Was he kind of a city?
He was a police, courts, crime,
Yeah, did it all.
that kind of guy. And we appreciated those
I think it'd be fun to cover the courts. That's not really a thing or a beat anymore, but I think I would excel at that.
How so? You don't know a legal term from
Sure, I do.
Give me a legal term and tell me
Habeas corpus.
what does it mean?
It's the writ.
What? Yeah, what does it mean?
You know, it's when you do the.
So you don't even know the basics.
Do you know what habeas?
Sure.
Tell us.
You get your corpse and you habeas it.
I don't know what that is. Corpus, not corpse.
It's short for corpse.
Corpus is short for corpse.
Yeah.
All right.
869-1240 is the phone number. It's the IHOP hotline. We've attempted, man, I've been working to try to get guests today, to try to figure out the rain, to try to do all kinds of things, and I've come up fairly empty. I've got a heck of a show lined up for Friday and Monday.
Sweet.
I mean, just a heck of a show.
Am I going to be here?
You're not included. I don't care if you're here.
Really?
I've got a heck of a show lined up.
Maybe I won't come then.
New inductee into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame, Ron Nugent, will join us on Friday, as will University of Tennessee standout baseball player Dylan Dreiling.
Excellent.
All of that coming up on Friday's show.
Can you tell me why I did not receive a ballot this year?
They didn't do ballots.
What did they do?
They let their board vote. They're kind of rearranging, resituating the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. So no ballots. This is a board vote on the Hall of Fame inductees. Ron Nugent, former tremendous swimmer, one of the best ever in our state at Wichita East High School. He'll be on the show on Friday. And Monday, we think we're going to get Lincoln Cure from Goodland High School, the 5-star tight end recruit for K-State.
Yeah, good for K-State, putting together a nice little team, a nice little group of Kansans, and we're all excited to watch the Wildcats play.
I put you on getting Lincoln Cure, and
you said for today or Friday, and we didn't get him today. We'll figure it out.
Friday doesn't look like it's going to work, but Monday looks like it'll work.
Good job.
And then we are efforting Nate Dreiling, another Dreiling. From
They're
the
not
great
related,
state
though,
of
are they?
Kansas. All those Dreilings are related in some way. Nate Dreiling recently named the interim, now the head football coach at Utah State University from Hutchinson High School.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh State, he was state champion, multi-time at Hutch, national champion at Pitt State.
Say what you want about me.
About
Say
you?
what you want about me. I'm going to work to get good guests.
Okay.
Now, today, fell flat on my face. Although we have Mike Furchess coming up at 2:45. Mike's always fun.
Wonder if he's continued watching Shoresy.
I don't know. I haven't gone back to it.
Well, that's just not smart, and that's a bad decision, and I feel bad for you.
Haven't gone back to it. And not sure why.
I think you feel
The first 10 minutes turned me off.
I think you feel like you are too sophisticated for that, but you're not.
I am a little.
You're not.
You know, I am a little.
You need to understand.
If Duda likes it and you like it.
Duda likes it. I like it. My wife loves it.
I'm a little step up.
I don't
sophistication.
see, but that's what you're missing out when you think that way.
No.
When you are not part of the joke and you're not in on it and you feel like you're above stuff that you're not above because it's a great show, it's hilarious, it's well written, it has heart, it's well acted. There's no flaws with that show. None.
Those of us with a little class.
You can say that, and you can go watch your hour-long shows on AMC
Yes,
and Turner Classic Movies.
I enjoy PBS.
Do all that.
I get wrapped up in a lot of English serials.
Man, if Shoresy, it's not an American show.
It's so fun to get
it's
you
not
going.
It's just
getting
me
much
going
fun
is
to get you going.
If your way to get me going is to sound unintelligent, then that's fine.
I just told you I watched English serials.
I don't care what that is.
What do you mean you don't know what it is?
I don't care what it is. See, if Shoresy's a Canadian show, can't get nominated for an Emmy, but I swear the first Emmy it got nominated for, I'm going to watch every episode in 12 minutes. That'd be you.
I may go back to it. I'm telling you, the kick I'm on right now, and this goes in phases. It always has. What I do right now when I'm sitting there without anything to watch, which happens more often in the summer, obviously, I go to YouTube. And the algorithms know exactly what would interest me.
Stuff
it's
from the
bizarre in that
60s.
way, isn't it? And that's what I watch.
Oh, you frustrate me to no end.
So last night I watched a bunch of Jiminy Glick interviews.
Yeah, he's funny.
And the one he did with Melissa McCarthy. I just get a kick out of that stuff.
I don't like it as much when the guest plays it straight. I'm not as much of a fan. I like when they laugh and have a good time. And I know Melissa McCarthy was having a good time.
She was funny.
But I don't need you to play it straight.
She was funny straight.
No, I don't need you. I don't need it.
No, she was funny straight.
Laugh and enjoy it.
No.
This is a guy putting on a show for you, and you're going to sit there stone-faced. I don't like it.
I liked it. I liked the way she handled it.
No one is funnier than Martin Short. And
Melissa McCarthy's in that realm.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
Have you ever seen Brides? What's
Bridesmaids, and
Have
that
you ever
wasn't.
seen that?
That was one of the least funny movies I've ever watched.
My goodness.
But Mr. Sophistication over here loves
Yeah,
Bridesmaids.
I did like it.
With a gross out humor joke every 3 seconds.
Yeah, well, that's before I became erudite.
Well, now start watching.
Now I
Shoresy.
watch, as I said, British serials.
I don't care what you watch.
The shows about the Queen and
What makes
the monarchy,
British cereals
the drama and the
different
accents,
than American cereals? Less sugar or
the accents, the
oh,
you can't, Jeff.
those cereals.
Please stop trying to keep up with me. When I'm out here running ahead of you, just lag in the back and throw.
Well, I know you used to be an American cereals guy. We had a lot of Apple Jacks in the house and
See, that's not funny.
Fruit Loops. Now you've gone over to.
See, that's just not funny.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Trust me, it is.
It's not funny.
I'm not just going to throw something out there
It's so sophomore.
if it's not funny.
It's so done. Oh, he said cereals, and I'm going to act like he's talking about breakfast food. What's this?
Well, that's
So
all
you
you
had
could be
Apple
talking
Jacks
about.
when you were here, and nobody thinks that's funny. There's no way Max was back in the studio.
He's loved 4 or 5 things I've said in this segment.
thinking that was.
I
funny.
bet he's written them all down so we can recap it later.
I doubt it.
You never know.
Has
You
there
never
ever been
know.
a day where there's less to talk about in sports? How's that for just admitting
I
something?
don't know. LeBron re-upped with the Lakers. What a
Poor
sucker
Bronny.
franchise.
Uh,
They did add 2 assistant coaches.
yeah, Scotty Brooks and the former
Nate
Portland,
McMillan.
Nate McMillan. Why even have J.J. Redick?
I don't know.
What's his role?
Don't know.
What is J.J. Redick actually going to do for the Lakers?
Hard to say.
He's not going to run that team.
Well, he's a placeholder. He's a
That
he's a
thing is
figurehead.
That thing is going to blow up so astoundingly that I'm going to get great satisfaction.
Aren't you
out of
getting kind of tired of LeBron?
I'm not getting necessarily. It's time for LeBron to move on. He's had a unbelievable career. He's held the Lakers hostage. They need to move on from him, but they don't have the willpower. They don't have the guts. Rob Pelinka, please. It's a travesty, and I wonder if my friend Alan Gales feels that way too.
I don't know.
Biggest Lakers fan. Didn't he call a show a week or two ago?
Yeah, what were we talking about
The
then?
Lakers.
I know, but what was it? Reddick or
Yeah,
Bob
Reddick.
Hurley or Dan Hurley or whoever?
Dan Hurley. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm just going to say it right now. I hope it blows up.
Well, it's not like it has gone smoothly thus far. They won the bubble championship and pretty much been on a slow downhill trend ever since.
They look like they just don't know what the heck they're trying to do. No direction. LeBron does a podcast with a guy and he becomes a coach. The first time J.J. Redick tries to insert his authority, that thing will go south. It's a disaster waiting to happen, and you heard it here first.
Thank you.
Forget your Kendrick Perkins and all those folks.
Is this a unique take? Is this an original?
I believe.
Don't a lot of people think that
I
this
believe
isn't?
you did hear it here first.
I don't think a lot of people feel like this is a brilliant tacticians at work here for the Lakers.
Who are you talking about? Me?
No, the people putting together the Lakers and pulling the strings and making the decisions.
Well, you used to be a Lakers fan. I'd think you'd have a little
30
more.
years ago.
I think you'd have a little more admiration. I thought you liked LeBron James.
Not anymore. I'm tired of him.
Well, it doesn't do anything to hurt anybody.
I'm just tired of him. And I'm not saying that I want him to retire. I'm looking forward to him being gone because he's great and I appreciate his greatness and the game will be lacking without him, but I'm just tired of him.
You tired of Steph Curry?
No, Steph Curry doesn't make these power plays and feel like he runs the league and runs the franchise. LeBron, I mean, he's earned that right to some degree.
Well, it'd be
But
fine if they won.
Here
They're not winning.
Here's Golden State getting Buddy Hield probably and DeAnthony Melton.
Yesterday you trashed Buddy Hield.
No, I'm just saying they're not going after these superstars. They're trying to build a team and figure
yesterday
it out.
Buddy Hield couldn't have done anything.
Well, he's not a horrible replacement for Klay Thompson. They got somebody else.
Well, sure they did. I mean, of course they got somebody else. Who is the somebody else?
I'm trying to figure that out.
It'd be nice if you had that information.
It would be nice.
It's the Anderson.
Kyle Anderson.
Kyle Anderson from the Timberwolves, who's
Correct.
okay. What'd he do last year?
He's a 3-and-D guy. He's 10 points a game type of player, and will fill a role.
6.4 points, 4.2 assists last year. Forward with playmaking ability. We'll see. That doesn't move the needle.
Not a lot. He can be a valuable player in some ways.
Oh, well. We'll come back and continue the conversation. I don't even remember what we talked about.
A lot of stuff.
The British cereals
Yeah.
is all I remember.
Never tasted any.
We will be back. We'll talk a little bit about baseball coming up.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Can you believe we're coming up on 9 years doing this show?
Oh, those kind of things stopped having a lot of meaning to me.
Really?
Yep. I've done a lot of things for a lot of years.
We gonna do anything for the 10th?
No. You show up in my basement, turn on the equipment.
You think
Get
we'll be
ready to
on the
go.
air for the 10th
No, I
anniversary?
don't know. I think it's highly doubtful.
December 1, 2025?
I think it's highly doubtful.
Really? Highly
I go
doubtful?
through a lot of thoughts.
Well, stop.
What do you mean stop?
Just show up.
That's what I
Stop
do.
thinking about it.
I go through a lot of thoughts. When is the time? When's the right time?
Nobody cares. Just do whatever you
I
want.
care.
No, nobody else. Just do what you
My
want.
wife cares.
Do what you want to do.
People care.
No, they don't. There's no right time. There's no wrong time. There's only what you want, and that's all that matters.
So now you're insinuating that I take myself too seriously.
I don't know if that's what I'm insinuating necessarily.
What are you saying?
When
What are you saying?
when you arrive, there's no time. Who cares?
No, there's a right and a wrong time.
No, there isn't.
Of course there is. Took me forever to decide that I was going to retire from the Eagle.
Yeah, but
But I read the writing on the wall.
That's you deciding, and there's no.
Well, I'll make that decision here, too. Let me tell you this. When I go, you're gone.
No, I am not. I'm going to be the
I'm going
face.
to tell you that right now.
I'm going to be the face of this station.
I'll tell
for
you that
years
right now.
To come.
Well, good, because you got a face for this station.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Purely a face for radio.
No, I don't know about that.
But I'll just say that Tony and I have had, Tony Dusing, our program director, we've had many conversations about, he understands, as people get older, they start to think about things. So
I'll team up with somebody else.
we've talked at great length about, well, is there anyone Jeff could do the show with that could maybe keep it on the tracks? Is there anyone that you'd want? And the resounding flat answer is hell no. So that's what you got to deal with.
I'll find somebody. I got this bit of news today. I'm not sure how you'll feel about it.
What's it involve first?
This radio station.
Well, what am I? What'd they say about me?
Nothing. Why is it always got to be about you? Our cohorts over at Sports Daily are going to start streaming on the Channel 12 app and Channel 12 platform.
Really?
Yes.
Why aren't we?
I asked that question.
Do we get a? You know what? I like being the underdog. I like being the. We'll just throw them on at noon. And what time do we go on?
I don't know.
We'll throw them on at 2, and they'll make it work.
Well, I think one of the hosts.
And meanwhile, we'll put up a new tower for the morning people. We'll put them on. We'll try to get them on CNN at some point. That's okay. I like being the underdog.
Well, I think that was one of the hosts of that program brought that to Channel 12 with a sponsorship. And I don't know the sponsorship, but I assume it has to do with one of the business his wife is a part of and his family is a part of.
I could go get a business.
Well, it's I thought about calling Tony and saying, hey, why don't you give us a sponsor? But I think we might have to be on video. I'm not sure where we do the show from. We don't need to be that polished. I
don't care about it. Do listeners care about that?
I don't know.
Will people tune into the KWCH app to watch a morning radio show?
Don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I know the world's changing. I get it. But I come down here, I put on a pair of headsets, I get us hooked in, I make sure my mic's hot, and I go to work.
Well, I don't want to see.
I'm not going to be looking at the computer screen with a lovely smile on my face as I welcome the listeners. No, that's not how I'm made.
I don't know.
You want me to try it?
No, I do not.
Hello, listeners. We're happy to have you with us. It's a Wednesday, and I'm Bob Lutz.
I don't think people are looking into a computer screen.
No, they are. There's a camera right here.
But I don't think that's how this. I don't think that's how it works.
They're going to get a camera crew.
I don't know what they're doing. They need to. Here's what they need to do. And Jacob, if you're listening, and Tommy, you need to be in a room together, so we can see some interaction, so we can see how you interact with each other.
Well, I don't know how they do the camera work then. That would involve a whole lot of camera work. You'd have to have two cameras in that situation.
Perhaps. Some kind of split screen or something. I don't know.
Go do the show at KWCH every day.
Who, me?
No, them.
I don't think that's what's going to happen, but
I'm not doing it at KWCH.
You're not?
No.
We go sit at the breaking news desk?
I don't want to drive. I've got it made.
It's an easy drive, 10, 12 minutes.
I've got it made right now.
Pop down 37th over to...
I'm sitting here in my basement. My beautiful little dog is sleeping in her bed beside me. I just feel good about where I am. Literally and figuratively.
Good. Kind of like the Don Henley song.
On at this moment in time, doing the show from my basement. I don't need a lot of cameras on me. I don't need a lot of KWCH people talking about my abilities.
Do you think Channel 12 will try to influence the direction of the show?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I doubt it.
I love Channel 12. That's my employer. I stand with Channel 12 in all of their decisions.
Well, there's no decision to make. If they wanted the show, they got the show. I'm happy just to be on here.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what our listeners think. I don't know if a bunch of them are thinking these guys need to get with the show here. We got this morning show doing all these videos, and we get to look at them, and we get
on TikTok.
We get to. I don't want to get on TikTok.
I think I'm going to do a TikTok next year.
Good. You know what?
Yeah, no.
You and your new partner on this show.
not a radio TikTok.
What do you mean you're going to do TikTok next year?
I'm going to for the minor league baseball season. I'm going to go.
There's another one.
I'm going to go interview.
Here's what I'm going to. Jeff,
I'm going to go interview prospects and
ladies
put it on
and
TikTok.
gentlemen, here's Jeff. I'm gonna Lutz. With more I'm gonnas than anybody who's ever
ideas
lived
in this brain, man.
But none of them ever go anywhere.
Some of them do.
No, they don't.
I've been on this show for a long time.
They crash and burn. The only reason you're on this show for a long time is because I am.
I've been official scorer and music guy at Riverfront Stadium for a while. That was just a kind of, I'm going to do that, and I did it. I've done most of the things I said I'm going to do. I just haven't done them all long term. But I've at least produced some body of work that people can point to. And I think I'm going to go do the prospect files on TikTok.
Really? That's what you're going to do?
Yeah.
There's not enough people doing shows about prospects. Is that what you're...
I don't know what the TikTok thing is like.
Is that what you're trying to
tell me? You go ask them. You can get a lot of content out of a short interview because these TikToks are short. And I'll have my daughter show me how to use it, and it'll be great. Look for that in 2025, folks.
I doubt that ever.
The prospect files.
I doubt that ever comes to fruition.
On TikTok.
It will
like
never.
Today, I'd go down and interview Dalton Rushing, #1 prospect in the Dodgers
and
organization.
He'd say, "Well, who is this?"
No, he'd be like, "I'm a young guy. I understand what's going on here."
And he'd look at you and go, "And why? You're not a young guy. I'm not talking to you."
I think
you don't know the
he'd
first
look
thing
at me
about
and say,
TikTok.
He'd look at me and say, "This is a youthful type of guy and with good energy. I'll probably help him out." And Dalton Rushing would be my first guess on the prospect files.
You talk about potentially having 0 viewers.
Really? baseball people would eat that up.
No, the people who care about Dalton Rushing get plenty of him elsewhere.
Not face to face.
From their organization.
No.
What team's he with?
Dodgers.
There's people in the Dodgers organization that have covered him. If you're a Dodgers fan, but
I'm not going to cover him the way
I speak to this as a Cardinals fan. There's not a single prospect you could write about or do a TikTok with.
Yeah, there is.
That I need to know about.
Of course there is, and you would watch it.
Who would you get?
If I got Tink Hintz on the prospect files,
I've seen so much of Tink Hintz.
You would love it.
I've seen so much of Tink Hintz.
I wouldn't just ask, hey, what do you think about the Cardinals this year,
Okay, what
Tink?
would you ask?
I'd come up with more interesting
questions.
questions.
Give me the first question.
I don't know. I'm not going to do that for you right now. I feel like I'm being put on the spot and backed into a corner.
Just what would be a question?
Where do you like to go to eat on the road? Something like that.
Oh boy,
more about personality.
Burger King.
More about personality than baseball.
That brings out the personality.
You know what I'm talking about.
I like the Whopper.
Like you doubt my ability to ask people questions.
I like the Whopper. Now what?
What do you get on it, Tink?
See, this is going nowhere.
What a
click, click, click. That's all you're getting.
No, there are baseball accounts that interview big leaguers. Like, do you remember who was the starting lineup when you made your debut?
Click.
Do you remember do you know how many career home runs you have? It's interesting stuff. And trust me. Just trust me.
Click.
Why don't you try something?
What do you mean? I don't care about trying something.
You try something for a change.
For a change? Really?
Yeah.
You're going to say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Me try something.
Yeah, you put an idea together and put it out there.
I have ideas all the time, and they're usually always implemented.
Well, so are mine.
Tink
for a limited time. Tinkins.
Yeah. Whatever.
Man,
all right.
Can you imagine a couple years ago, Julio Rodriguez on the Prospect Files on TikTok? 10 million views.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
It'll never happen, folks. But
no, now it will.
Good luck with it.
It's the last thing I do at the Prospect Files.
And if it does happen,
is it on TikTok?
Look for your 3 episodes.
I might do 7 or 8.
Here is Mike Furchess joining us on the IHOP hotline. He's here to talk pop culture and whatever else there is to talk about. Mike, I understand you were involved in the mess last week with Jeff and Jason Duda. I apologize for that.
It was me and David Michael Hahn.
Oh, with David Michael Hahn. I really apologize for that. Sorry you had to endure that.
Hey, it was a lot of fun. David Michael Hahn was a lot of fun, so it was a good show.
Really?
How come you haven't been putting anything in our group text, Mike?
Well, I don't even know how the group text thing works, Jeff. I mean,
you send a text and you send it. That's it. It's just like any other text.
Jeff is. If you haven't noticed, Jeff is needy when it comes.
It's David,
to
Michael, Hahn, and me. It's our group text.
What have you been texting about? Why aren't I included?
Of us. Well, now that I have an idea what's going on.
You can be in any group text you want, just not that one. You have to create your own group.
What's going on with that one? Why can't I be in it?
Mike won't put any. We're trying to be encouraging to each other. Like, let's go attack the day, gentlemen. And
really,
I don't do anything like that. But
I think
what you're doing.
Yeah,
Bob. What I got was I got a text that said this is a group test, and that's what it said.
No, you're making that up.
From. Well, I didn't know.
Well, there you go. I don't blame you.
Now I do.
Well, you need to save my number, and the other person is David Michael Hahn.
Okay.
But I'll get it straightened out for you.
Okay, I appreciate that. And even if I've been doing some research on Shorzy for you, I've been doing research for you, and then you come on blast. It's not even in the top 75 rated shows on Hulu.
No kidding. It's a Canadian show that is not advertised here in America. You either need to know about Shorzy or you've missed out. I don't know what to say to that.
Well, it sounds like he's not that interested.
Well,
see, that's the problem with guys like you, Mike, and guys like Bob. Well, if it's not critically acclaimed, I'm not going to see it. But if I like something and somebody else doesn't like it, well, then now all of a sudden I don't like it either. And if it's poorly reviewed, I'm not going to see it. And if it's not reviewed, I'm not going to see it. Make your own decisions. What do you think about that?
I watched the first episode, and it just didn't catch me.
Well, you're wrong, and I don't know.
Why can't people have a different opinion than you?
Because it's a wrong opinion.
Just because you and Jason Duda like it?
And everybody else, except you two.
You know the combined IQ of you and Jason Duda?
About 290?
I don't care if it's a Canadian. I don't care if it's a Canadian show. It's showing predominantly on a U.S. streaming network called Hulu.
No, it's not. It's showing predominantly on a Canadian television channel called Crave.
Hulu overwhelms that.
Yeah. I've heard of Hulu. I never heard of Crave.
And, man, you got me all excited. I did some research, and I know these actors now, and I understand what the show's about, and I've read about it.
Don't take it personally.
It's not even in the top 75 on Hulu. That's where you came with.
So I wanted to ask you, Mike, about a movie. And we'll get to the Kevin Costner epic here in a moment because it doesn't look like it's taken off, but I want your opinion. But a movie that is drawing incredible reviews every time I read about it or somebody comments, and it's animated, but it's Inside Out 2. What are your thoughts?
I love the first Inside Out, and I think the second one's going to be just as good. It's on my I've got to see 2 more movies this week, and it's on my docket to see along with the Kevin Costner film. So I love the first Inside Out. It was a lot of fun. It was what animation, what I would say, used to be. Not overly political in any way, just a good, entertaining, family-oriented story that has some good things happening to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm supposed to see Kevin Costner tonight and then seeing Inside Out tomorrow night. So.
Well, you're going to see an American Saga, Chapter 1, Horizon, the first chapter of the Kevin Costner epic about the Great West. And this is something that we all have a lot of faith in Kevin Costner, at least most of us do. Now, that doesn't mean he hasn't been in some things that haven't done well. But for the most part, anything he's been in has been pretty good and acclaimed. But this one doesn't look like it's going to be in that on that list. What do you think? What do you hear?
Well, I have to see it to find out for sure. I've heard mixed reviews on it. I mean, kind of what it sounds like you've heard as well. Some good, some bad. And I kind of wonder: is the American Western, is the Western as we know it, is it dead? Because it looks like it has the makings of one of the best Westerns I think since Open Range. The style of movie, the style of Western that it is. So, who knows? I'm hoping good things for it. And it reminds me of a Taylor Sheridan film, which would make sense in that Kevin Costner's works with Sheridan so much over the years. But I'm still looking forward to seeing it simply because I like Kevin Costner and it's hard for him to do wrong for me. Unless he's a hockey player from Canada, then it's another story.
Forget Shoresy.
I'm not even talking about Shoresy. I'm just disappointed, and it's all right. It's okay. Have you seen?
Disappointed in what?
I'm just disappointed.
About what?
I told Mike about a couple movies last week, and
what movies did you tell him about?
Treasure and Tuesday, and because they're not out there, and they're not big budget, and they're not with huge stars in them, and it's just it's all good. But there is a preview coming out.
I'll guarantee you.
Go ahead.
100 times. I guarantee you, I see 100 times more independent films than you do, which are not.
Thank you, Mike.
100 times zero, still zero.
For putting him in his place. I mean, this is a whiny brat today. Go ahead. What's your question?
Oh, I saw a preview for a Tom Hanks, Robin Wright film called Time. And it looks good. It's like I don't really know how to describe the concept if these people are ageless, but it goes through everything in time that has happened in the particular spot where their house is. So obviously their house hadn't been there forever, but they get to experience these historical, I don't know if events, but they just get to experience history. Seems interesting.
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis is heading at this one.
You got me. There's two reasons that film has me, and Tom Hanks is not one of them. Robert Zemeckis and Robin Wright. She is an amazing, talented actress who does not get near enough credit, and so I will see the movie just to see. And I love Robert Zemeckis. I mean, what he did with some of the films that he's done, like Forrest Gumps and others, are just. He's an amazing filmmaker, so I'm looking forward to that, Jeff. I have seen the previews and the trailers for that. And
no one's gonna be disappointed in that triumvirate of Robin Wright, Tom Hanks, and Robert Zemeckis, because we know what they've done together in the past. I think that movie's gonna be a hit.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and it's nice to see that it's got its own style of movie. It's got its own story. It's not a remake. It's nothing of that nature. It's an original kind of story that I'm looking forward to, which Robert Zemeckis, if anybody can make those kind of movies, he's one of them. So he's a genius in his own
And by the
right.
way, it's not even called Time. It's called Here.
Whatever.
So how are you supposed to know what the hell you're talking about?
Here and time.
No, it's not called Here.
Here over, time over,
it's
whatever.
Called Here. It's set in the far future, the distant past, and every time period in between. There's a novel written by Richard Maguire that this book or that this movie emulates. So it's about a time travel. Certainly not a new concept. Can these folks do it in a way that makes it entertaining? I say I'll give Robert Zemeckis, who's pretty famous for time travel movies.
He is?
Sure, Back to the Future.
Yeah, of course, duh.
You don't know anything.
I knew he did that one.
Mike,
pretty famous time travel movie.
Which one? One
Mike,
or three?
I think Mike's left.
So,
Mike, do you know how much I love you?
I know you do, Jeff.
I give you a
love
hard
too.
time. You give me grief on this show. I appreciate it. I don't want you to think I mean a single word of it.
I think the world of you. You and Bob and Duda and Tony, the whole bit, and Max. Let's not forget.
What about Max?
Well, so I just got through saying let's not forget Max.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We've had so many off-air discussions; it's unreal. So, Max and I are probably closer alike than anybody, believe it or not. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would scare me to death, Mike, but congratulations. So I told Jeff in hour number one, because I'm not watching anything currently, I've discovered that if you go to YouTube and they kind of know what you like, you can have a wonderful time just perusing YouTube and watching stuff that you're probably going to really like. And that's what I've been doing lately. I'm sure most people know about that. This isn't like breaking news, but it's a great thing.
YouTube has taken over. I think YouTube in so many ways, and we've talked about this before, I think it's bigger than network television. I've got more friends that watch YouTube and watch certain streaming channels on YouTube than they watch or even know what's showing on CBS or NBC or any of the other major networks. And streaming has taken over. That the day of network power may be done and over. And I'm with you. I can find something I know I'm going to enjoy on YouTube. And they do a good job of the algorithms picking things out for you. So I've got my
Mike,
own
what
number
would
of
be
shows to watch.
I think you have three no-doubters if you're putting together a Mount Rushmore of websites, and that would be YouTube, Amazon, and Google. Is there a fourth?
Oh, man. I still would throw Netflix in there. Because
As a
Netflix
website?
and Amazon, yeah, I think so. I think Netflix and Amazon, I think they go back and forth. Are you talking about streaming networks?
No, I'm talking about
He's talking about just websites that people go to. Amazon, certainly people go to. I mean, it's replaced shopping in America, basically, and in the world. Google, we all do our Google searches. YouTube makes sense. The fourth website that people would visit, I don't know what that would be. For me, it would probably be what?
ESPN.com.
Maybe.
Might be up there.
Yeah, it might be up there. If you're a sports fan, you probably pick your favorite sports site. I would say ESPN.com would be in that battle, but yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, society has become so polarized. It's really kind of hard to tell. Normally I would throw a news channel in there, but the news networks are so divided from one to the other. I mean, there's a huge difference between MSNBC and Fox. And for me, the fact that anyone would get their news sources primarily from either of those two. I'm not going to throw TikTok in there because I think a lot of people still go check out.
Yeah, that's a good one. It doesn't have the longevity as the other three, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
Here's a question that I would ask you if we were sitting around a table having dinner, but I'm going to ask you on the radio. And just in generalities, I don't want to get political here. I don't want to, not looking for your views.
Please, that's not.
Is America a good place in 10 years?
Yeah, I think so. I'm still optimistic. America's more than a political agenda. America's a kid playing baseball up here at McAdams Park through the week and seeing that look on his face when he gets a hit. America is in part. We'll see it tomorrow night with kids and families getting together for a 4th of July network and celebration. So America's a lot more than a political agenda. If we would only go back to those things and throw that political stuff out the window and find the areas that we can agree. If we just focused on areas where we could agree on, wouldn't this world be such a better place? But even with that problem that we seem to be polarized with each other, there's still a lot of good, We just finished celebrating Juneteenth, and you can, again, another celebration in McAdams Park or other places that we can go and become a part of each other's culture. I live in Little Mexico, what we call Little Mexico here in Wichita, and I was just talking with my neighbor yesterday, a beautiful Guatemalan lady, and she's checking up on me, how are we doing, and how's my health, and she's been praying for me, and so that's America. That's the America that I think still exists, and there's a reason so many people still want to come here and be here. We have our faults, but I'm grateful that there's a lot of countries I don't live in. So, and that's just
all right. Good perspective.
Well said, Mike.
Mike, always appreciate you. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Talk next week. Take care, guys.
Mike Furches,
see ya,
our buddy, on to talk pop culture with us on a weekly basis. We'll take a break. We've got an hour left. It's Bob and Jeff. Don't forget the IHOP hotline, 869-1240. IHOP, they're 2x2x2 specials where you can get 2 eggs, 2 sausages, 2 slices of bacon, a couple pancakes for a very reasonable price at IHOP. Back in a moment.
Showtime. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
What do you want me to be? Here are the choices. This guy. Jeff, how are you? You look good today. Did you trim your eyebrows?
I like.
Jeff Lutz.
It's not really about sense of humor. It's about whether I want to humor you. Do I? Not really.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
I heartily endorse this event or product.
All right, we are back. Hour number 2, a Wednesday edition, the Bob and Jeff Show on KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz co-hosting, Max Power, producing and engineering. 869-1240, the phone number. Guardians had to really fight for it last night, but they did beat the Chicago White Sox. Why didn't Lewis Roberts set up to throw the ball home on the sacrifice?
Never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it.
Did he not know how many?
He just didn't try. It was unbelievable.
I mean, chances were probably 10 to 20%.
I think there was no chance.
Well, maybe not, but I
mean, unless something happens to the runner. I read something like he was at 309 feet away or something, and the longest outfield assist this year is 280.
Well, he's got a great arm.
He does have a good arm, and he could have gotten momentum. I texted our friend Joe Auer about it. Said he'd never seen anything like it on any level, and it's a disgusting time to be a White Sox fan, basically.
Well, I just don't get it. I mean, if the Cardinal had done that, I'd drive to St. Louis.
It was pretty bizarre.
And express my dissatisfaction.
From a guy who had 4 RBIs on the night. And
he must have thought he was deeper than he was. It just defies logic.
It looked like initially he was going to try to get behind the ball, and then he just kept drifting, and he never regained any kind of position where he could make a throw.
It wasn't good. The Royals lose at home to Tampa, which is the Rays playing much better baseball of late. So Cleveland expands its lead over the Royals. The Twins did win. They seem to win now. Well, you talk about a hot and cold club.
They're good.
They're currently in a hot streak, and they just called up Brooks Lee, their top prospect.
Yeah, it looks like Royce Lewis is going to miss some time.
Well, that's too bad.
Again.
That's too bad. They're snake bitten. Byron Buxton has just never gotten on the field consistently.
Yeah, they're that.
Now it looks like that's going to be the case with Royce Lewis,
who is a fantastic player, as is Buxton. I don't necessarily. I feel bad for the individuals. I don't want to see any individual.
I like the Twins.
Be hurt, but I don't feel bad for the team.
We got their farm club here. I like the Twins.
Well, I don't, and I'm not.
The Twins and the Wind Surge came out and helped our League 42. I've never seen a Guardian at McAdams Park. I'll tell you that right now.
It'd be quite a trip.
Well, whatever the trip is.
They don't come through Wichita. I bet if they were in the Texas League, maybe they would.
I don't care what the trip is.
They're in the Eastern League, and they play their AA home games in Akron.
Now, the next time I see a Cleveland Guardian player at McAdams Park will be the first.
So will we maybe see one in August?
Well, I don't know. Don't know anything about it.
Well, you told us a name.
I didn't tell anybody a name.
Yeah, you did. You said his name.
And if you share it, I'll kill you.
You said the name on the show.
Very plainly. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You absolutely did.
Never would. It's
That's
not
fine.
official. I don't say anything until things are official.
You've said the name on the show.
No, I haven't.
I'm not going to do it.
You.
No, you've said it.
No, I haven't.
I guarantee you.
Max Power, get on the hotline.
Well, he might not even know who we're talking about.
We're not going to mention a name. I'm just going to ask Max a very simple question. Max, have I indicated who might be coming in for the statue unveiling on August the 5th? I got a feeling Max goes to the Odyssey Lounge.
Well, he puts his earphones on and watches hockey highlights, and he's kind of like you in that way. He's going to go back to something that makes him feel youthful and comfortable.
Let me tell you right now, if I was producing this show, I'd listen to every second.
I would think,
because you never know what I'm going to say.
You got to be
my finger on the button.
You got to be at the ready, at our beck and call.
I could say anything at any moment, and it could get us kicked off the air.
I don't think so.
You never know,
You've never said anything controversial on this show.
You never know.
I'm the one putting myself out there.
Say something controversial.
I don't want to right now.
You've never said anything without. It was like you backtracked with Mike first. Mike, I hope you know I love you, and I'm just.
Well, I do.
I'm kidding, and I never don't take. I mean, you know.
With you though, I'm not kidding.
Stand by your conviction.
I do have convictions, but it's not necessarily like a life and death situation, you know.
I mean, if you're gonna attack Mike Furchess, don't apologize for it.
I didn't apologize.
No, yes, you did.
I backtracked a little.
Hope you know I'm nothing I say is serious. Take nothing.
Okay, we'll get
serious.
Mike back on the show and I'll ram him.
So if you never say anything that our listeners should take seriously, why would they listen?
I don't know.
If it's just all folly, if there's no substance.
Well, you know, there's some truth to the things I said about Mike and the disappointment I had in him with his Shoresy takes. It's not good.
I've never been disappointed with Mike, not for 1 second.
Well, you should.
Why?
You should hold people to high standards.
I do, and he meets them.
Every time?
What standard doesn't he meet?
Knowing good television when he sees it.
I trust Mike. That's why he's on this show.
And I don't need you attacking Jason Duda when he's gone.
I'll talk Jason Duda.
Because we'll come back with a vengeance next time we have a 3-man booth.
You know what?
You're not going to want to be sitting in that chair.
The two of you have tried for years.
Well,
to get me.
This time it's real and it feels personal.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
What felt personal? What did I say?
You just the way you knock. What's your combined IQ and things like that? And
I wonder what it is.
I told you what it was.
But that's not even
290.
No, really. What do you think it is?
What do you think? I don't even know what a good IQ is.
Right,
like
because you don't have a good IQ.
Like I assume in triple digits it's pretty good. But
yeah, you want to get a little higher than that.
But is 110 like really a lot worse than 120? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that's judged. I don't think there's an actual real formula for it. I think it's a lot of guesswork, a lot of tests that don't necessarily indicate anything, and that's how I feel.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see what?
We'll see.
I don't like when you do that, when you're tuned out and I say something very profound.
I didn't even hear you. I got a message.
Well, who cares about your messages?
It's just one that caught my mind.
From 2 to 4, no messages.
Yeah, you'd like to think that would happen, but I'm dealing with, are we going to play games tonight? Okay?
Well, what did you say on Facebook? What time were you going to make that decision?
At 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
But I'm dealing with people in my brain, and you said it's raining now. Is that an
It was when I went upstairs.
Is that an accurate statement? I'm trying to get notification on whether it's raining at McAdams Park. My person over there, who I love, isn't responding, and may lose the job over it.
Really? Threatening someone's employment on the show. It's always good.
Of course. Do you not get me?
Not really, no.
Tell me what you don't get.
There's a lot of things. Do
you understand that this has been my humor?
Yeah, I
as
get
long
that
as
that
I
was
can
a
remember.
joke. I'm not a moron. But it wasn't.
It's my humor.
I know.
The way I express myself to people.
Yeah, I know.
I've had friends my entire life. Well, how do you explain that?
It's surface level relationships.
Surface.
You know, we're gonna joke around. We're not gonna necessarily be vulnerable with each other. We're not gonna get into the depth
I've had
of our.
so many friends that I've gotten into the depths with.
Like who?
You know them.
Really?
Sure.
Okay.
The
depths.
I'm not a superficial person.
Depths. I mean, how you, not just things going on in your personal life.
I'm not a superficial
I'm talking
person.
about how you feel.
Did you hear what I asked Mike Furchess?
Yeah, that's not depth.
That's depth.
That's not personal
Mike and
depth.
I are deep, and we get deep.
That's not personal depth, though. That's not what that is.
I get deep with so many people that you'd be surprised.
Well, that's talking about your real feelings and emotions.
Of course, that's what I'm talking about.
Not
who do you do that with?
Everybody.
David Michael Hahn? Baloney. You've never done that
absolutely.
one time with David.
Yeah, we talk about those kind of things all the time.
Randy Griffiths?
Consistently.
Really?
Yes.
I'm supposed to believe that.
100%.
Who else?
Name somebody. My cats. I mean, just.
Who else are you close to?
That's about it.
I don't think you have any other friends.
That might be it.
I thought about Joel T. Lamerno back in the day. Did you?
What are you talking about?
Did you get deep with him?
Not really.
Well, I mean, you were around.
We had a good time, though. Mostly at Windsurge Wingnuts games.
Yeah, whatever. You know, you do what you can. Another message there I had to deal with.
What was
What'd you say?
I don't remember.
Just try to be interesting, and you can hold my attention. That's
I thought
really
I was
all it
being
takes.
extreme. I thought I've been as interesting as anybody in this segment.
I gave you an opening to talk about Thunder General Manager Joel Lamerno.
What am I supposed to say about Joel?
And you'd think that because he
was hanging out with
I
met one of the former managers of the Cubs.
Who's that?
Mike Quade.
Who?
Quade. Mike
Oh,
Quade.
I remember. He was there
like a year and a half.
very briefly.
He's the Twins outfield coordinator now.
Oh, there you go.
It was weird. I thought I was talking to him, but I was talking to somebody else because they were above me, so I was kind of like just looking over my shoulder talking to somebody, and it wasn't him, but I introduced myself to him, and it was weird.
Well, no wonder if you're talking to somebody you don't even know.
No, I was talking to a different person, but I thought it was him because I got up and
then
I
how was it weird?
Because we hadn't been talking, like me and Mike Quaddy. So I just come up to this guy and
who was the guy?
He was a scout for the White Sox.
We must have thought you were a blithering moron.
No, I think Mike Quaddy did. The guy I was actually having the conversation with had gotten up.
But Mike Quaddy was there?
Yeah. No, I don't think he was.
And then you went to Mike Quaddy and said what?
By the way, I'm Jeff. And he said, I'm Bob Smith.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
He wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I know.
What
and then I had the same conversation 2 days in a row with the scout because I didn't know I was talking to him.
Why don't you turn around and look who you're talking to?
I did the second day. But
so you've offended Mike Quaddy.
I guess. And the scout.
Why isn't it played, by the way?
For asking him the same questions 2 days in a row. I don't know.
You're really struggling, man.
That was a weird time.
You're really struggling.
Mike Quaddy seemed nice.
All right. What do we have here? We'll take a break and come back and talk about some baseball. Wind surge at home tonight, then on the road for the 4th of July, but we've got the big event downtown at Riverfront Stadium. Fireworks tomorrow night. Starts at 6 o'clock over on the Hyatt lawn. The fireworks scheduled for 9:30, red, white, and boom. And Odyssey, KFH, a sponsor of that event. So we invite you to get out. The weather's supposed to be better tomorrow. Max, let's take it to break.
KFH.
That's a great sound. Would you admit that?
I love that song. Who wouldn't?
Thank you. That warms my heart because I thought you'd trash it.
No, I love that song.
I thought you'd ridicule it.
Why?
Say, you're an old man, and that sounds like an old song or something. I don't know. I don't know what I thought.
Yeah, I don't mind old songs. I think we've had this conversation.
So what are you shaking your head about as you look at your phone?
I wasn't. I was shaking my head because I couldn't quite think of who sang that song.
Really?
And I take a lot of pride in knowing who sings songs. But yeah, once you said Seals and Crofts, like, duh.
I have the record sitting right over there.
Yeah, I don't.
In that pile somewhere.
We'll have to go through that.
I will have to go through that someday because in some way.
You might be sitting on a small fortune.
Well, I don't know if I'm sitting on a small fortune because they're not in good condition because I played them all the time.
Right.
There was a time in my life where
you have a lot of presses.
My round table was in constant motion.
Yes, absolutely.
I had it. I'll never forget this. You want to know? You want me to harken back? We should have a segment.
Go for it.
Called Harkening Back.
Just hark back, but that's all right.
I'm harkening back. So I had this little round table, or this little turntable, in my youth that we probably bought for $3 somewhere, and it played 45s. Okay, that's all I had in the beginning. We didn't have LPs. We had 45s.
I get it.
Albums came later. You understand what I'm saying? A little later, but for the most part, just played the 45s. And you just pile them on top of one another, and as one finishes playing, the other one drops.
It's quite the system.
And I just went through through.
Why don't you have the 45 still?
Huh?
Why don't you have the 45s?
I don't know what happened to those.
I remember some of the 45s. I played some of the 45s.
I don't know what happened. Can you say 45? You mispronounced that.
No, I didn't. 45s.
You said 45s.
I think I did put a B in there. But...
Yeah, you did. 45. But anyway, that's what I listened to. And I used to go to the Giant store, which at that time was at George Washington Boulevard and Oliver. Do you remember that?
No.
Well, that's where it was. Now
it's
part of Spirit or the government, or I don't know who has that building. But they sold 45s, And every month or so, my dad or mom would take me to the Giant store, and I'd buy a bunch of them.
It's beautiful. It's good stuff.
It is beautiful. You know, that is beautiful.
There's
a chance. Now, listen to this, and then we'll get to your thoughts. There's a chance that on my deathbed, that'll be my last stop, buying records at the Giants. It's in the running.
Interesting.
So
what else?
If I'm delirious and I say, I want a 45 from Giants.
Well, it'll be something from
then you'll know what I'm talking about.
It'll be something from the 60s. We know that.
Now, what do you have to say?
Well, I just, my evolution was from tapes, and then, you try to tape songs off the radio, and then you try to record blank tapes with tapes that you play and make mixtapes, and then obviously you go to CDs and you make mixtapes that way. You just, you expose yourself to a lot of different kinds of music.
Not nearly as romantic as the 45s on the turntable.
Mixtapes?
Because you had the.
You never made a mixtape in your life.
Oh, sure I have.
No, never.
I've made a bunch of them.
When?
I don't remember, but I made a bunch of them back in the day.
I made a bunch of them.
No, I made a lot. I was into music, man.
But you didn't sit down.
Sure I did.
Put a blank tape in the cassette
all the time.
Recorder.
All the
time.
Put
a song on, record it, wait till the end, switch out CDs.
I did that all the time.
Put another song on, unpause the record.
I did that all the time.
No, I did that all the time.
Well, you may have done it more than I did, but I did it a lot.
I don't remember ever seeing you do that.
Well, I'm sorry you weren't around. I had a life before you.
You didn't have cassette tapes before me.
I had a life even after you. I'd take you to the zoo and drop you off, and then I'd run home and make a tape. That's what I did.
That was actually kind of funny.
What?
That one was kind of funny. I like that one.
Thank you.
I couldn't avoid laughing at that one. That was good.
You did laugh, didn't you?
Yeah.
How many times do you suppress a laugh?
Never.
You're still laughing.
It's funny.
Dropping you off at the zoo is funny.
And going home to make a tape.
Right.
But don't repeat it. No,
I'm not repeating anything.
You just ruined it.
I didn't ruin anything. You do what you got to do in this world.
Try to.
Are we getting through a show?
We're getting there.
Are we making it happen?
Well, we got about 20 plus minutes to go.
Tomorrow,
I think we'll do just fine.
There is no show.
You got any July 4th
of
plans?
July. Say what?
You got any July 4th plans? Take care of your dog. Has it been bad out here? Fireworks
Hasn't been
wise?
too bad yet. Hasn't been bad. But, tonight we look for it. Well, the rain, who knows? And then the Cardinals play tomorrow very early in the morning. So we'll catch that game at 11:30 and then probably call up a couple friends and maybe go out and have a little bite to eat. And you guys, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm working.
Well, then I guess you're out of there.
I need to decide what I'm doing after work.
When you get out of work.
They're planning a little cookout on the courtyard with about 10 or so of us who are working tomorrow.
Well, good for you guys.
I might participate. We'll see.
What time are you getting out of work?
After the 6.
Is that when the cookout is?
Yeah.
Well, I'd hang around for the cookout.
I probably will.
I mean, you camaraderie, man.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good time.
That's what you enjoy. Who are some of the folks that could be at that?
TJ's working. I think Rachel Hallam's working. I had the groupie Roman Campa's working. There's a few of us. I think Jen Searle was on the list, but I don't know if she's working tomorrow.
Well, I met Rachel. She was out to do a League 42 story about the Heat last week or the week before.
Yeah, she's a good reporter.
So yeah, we took care of that.
I said TJ. Who else we got on this list? Christy Tedesco. Does that do anything for you?
Sure. Well, I mean, the daughter of. Well, there was a Tedesco at KWCH many years ago.
That's her.
She's still there?
She's back.
She's back?
Yes.
What's she doing?
She's anchoring the noon.
Wow. Was that announced anywhere?
I don't know. Our noon anchor Lane kind of is doing a part-time thing, spending more time at home. So we brought Christy back to take that spot. Ross Jansen is on this email. This could be a great time. I need to bond with Ross.
What would you say to Ross?
I don't know. He's just such a smooth guy. Like, what am I going to say to Ross?
Right, exactly.
I got my T-shirt and my hat coming in. He's coming in with the perfect hair and just a strapping man.
Mention Misty. He's a dog guy.
He is. His dog is so cute. I got to pet May May today.
But look at this kid. You're not going to beat her. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. Corgis. Misty's as cute as any dog, but the Corgi's not taking a backseat to anybody.
Look at her just sleeping. She's adorable.
I know, she's cute. Most animals are cute.
Yes,
I find a lot of animals cute.
Here's what sets, listen, I love all dogs and animals, but here's kind of what sets Misty apart. You want this?
Sure.
The dark eyes and the white coat, but the coat is several different colors. So there's
it's a nice little blend.
It's a spectrum. She's not a white-haired dog. She's got tan. She's got black hair. She's got kind of orangish.
So do you kind of feel that way about most of our cats then, that they're really cute because they have a coat of many colors, as Chris Christopherson once said? Who did that song?
I don't know.
Coat of many colors.
I don't listen.
Tanya Tucker?
I like your cats just fine. I'm not a cat guy per se, but I like your cats. I like your cats just fine.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice cats.
They're nice cats.
They're okay. Nettie Harris, you can't beat, but that's.
I mean, there's nothing like a dog, but it's.
There's nothing like a relationship between a human and a cat. I don't think.
What about a human and a dog?
Well, that's easy. Anybody can attain a relationship with a dog.
You know that every night I'm home, which hasn't been very often lately, but last night I was because of rain. Every night I'm home at about the same time every night, Misty jumps up on the chair, gets up on my chest, right in my face with her face, and we've called it, it's time to have a talk. And she knows what that is.
What do you say?
We just talk.
I talk to my
we have a deep talk.
No, so do we.
We have a conversation. It's not just one-sided.
What does she say?
She says a lot with her eyes.
Well, so does Nettie Harris. You'd be surprised.
So
Nettie Harris is an expressive animal.
It's just remarkable. We do the talk. We do the show. The kid's an entertainer.
100%.
You've seen the show.
So I have. So is your team scheduled to play tonight?
Yes.
Because you didn't play games yesterday.
Right. But we're not going to play because it's raining. And I can't see, so I'm going to send you up at the break to give me an update.
Well,
because I still haven't received. There it is. There you go.
Because yesterday I did ask out of work, and I did have a replacement. But I've since decided, since you're not playing, that I'm going to go official score tonight.
Well, what about the person that they replaced you with?
I said, you're good.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be here.
What if they wanted to do it?
I want to do it.
What if that's a terrible
I'm on
thing.
the schedule.
That's a terrible look.
I don't care.
You already gave that spot up. That person has already decided, okay, well, I've got to do this tonight.
No, we've talked last night.
Oh, so you decided last night you weren't going to do it.
Once you said, yeah, the game's at 8:30 or whatever.
Oh, really?
I told you I'd come out at the end and say.
That's a terrible look.
And I figured rain. I knew it was going to rain. I don't even know if the wind surge will get theirs in tonight.
Well, we'll see. Well, I don't know what it's going to do. That's why I want you to go up now and check on the rain for me.
I'm about to.
I'm going to have another person check on it. We got decisions to make. Tomorrow, no show. Friday, we'll be back. We've got some good guests coming up Friday. Plus, the big fella's going to be here for the 3-man booth.
He is? Wow.
That's correct.
You might not need me. How do you think
I got all kinds of people waiting in the
wing. How do you think we'll handle that?
What do you mean?
First time.
He's looking forward to it.
Well, he's better be ready.
I like Anthony, and
not sure I've ever met Anthony in person.
Well, he's been here. Been right down here doing the show with me.
Right.
He's enjoyed it. I think he's learned a lot. He said
From
that
Misty?
he's getting an education, a priceless education, I think is what he called it. So there
Is that
you
what
go.
he said?
Well, I think that's what he called it.
Probably, yeah.
I don't remember the exact word. But
might have been it.
We look forward to that. 869-1240 if you want to weigh in. We haven't had a phone call now. What if we were if we were keeping track of the phone calls, we'd be on about an 0 for 40 streak.
It's not been prolific lately. It would be nice to hear from somebody.
Nah, I don't care. I think what
show?
This show's settled into is improv for the host.
You're welcome.
The host, not the hosts. The host.
I don't get to improv too?
Not really.
Okay, well, do your thing, man.
So here are the Cardinals, my team, at 44-40. They were 9 games below at 15-24 at one point. That would make them 29-16. Why don't I feel better about them?
I don't know. Why don't you?
I don't know. I don't get it. There's certain things I feel really good about.
Because we don't really know who's
Mason
good.
Wynn's pretty good. Alec Burleson's pretty good. Brendan Donovan, if they traded him, they'd get so many takers for him. He's a top 10 MVP candidate in the National League.
Really?
Yes. And the reason is he can play anywhere. He gives you a good at bat. He's batting about 700 over the last month. And he's just a good baseball player. I mean, They got this guy playing left field, and he's playing it like a Gold Glover.
I mean, he's hitting 270, got 8 homers. I don't know if I put him in the MVP top 10 conversation.
He's certainly the Cardinals' MVP.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that he's putting it together for you.
And they're a above 500 team, which in this day and age, in this particular time, means something.
Sure does.
Because you know how many teams are over 500 in the National League?
About 5?
5, 6, 7 of the 15.
Oh, okay, well, that's like half. So
San Diego's 3 over. The Mets are 1 over. The Cardinals are 4 over. The Dodgers are 20 over. The Brewers are 16 over. And the Phillies are 27 over.
We had them caught for just a second, but going to have to go on another little winning streak to be best
now,
team in
who's
baseball.
the MVP in the National League as we speak? I think it's an interesting discussion. Who would you go with?
Bryce Harper's got to be up there.
No.
He's not?
No.
In the MVP conversation?
No. He'll get some votes, but he's hurt right now.
Frankie Lindor's got to be up there a little bit.
No, come on.
He's having a heck of a year.
He's not even really?
He's having a good year.
Shohei's the MVP in the National League.
Duh.
Marcell Ozuna's fallen off a little bit. You know who should get some consideration is Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, he's had a great year. Something
you
about
know
him
who
and
else
the
should
Padres.
get some consideration? Former Shocker Alec Boehm.
He's going to be starting the All-Star game.
Leads the National League in runs batted in.
It's impressive.
Past Marcell Ozuna. And he doesn't hit a lot of home runs, which makes that even more impressive.
Well, he's got a good offense that gets on base for him.
Well, I don't care about that. I'm telling you why he's.
You don't care about people getting on base so he can drive in runs
I'm telling you what I think.
Right after you pointed out that he leads the league in RBIs. That's okay.
The American League MVP is Aaron Judge, who
Yeah.
right now is the Triple Crown winner. This guy's now he's the Triple Crown.
Okay.
He leads the American League in hitting, doesn't he?
He won't after today. I don't know. Stephen Kwan's like right on the edge of qualifying, and he'll be 50 points up. So it's going to take some work for Aaron Judge to win the Triple Crown. Like, because a couple days ago, like, Quan was 5 plate appearances short.
Well, Quan's in a slump.
Yeah, but he's still hitting 360.
Yeah, but he was hitting 398. Judge is hitting 320 with 20. How many home runs does the kid have?
32, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
32 homers, 83 RBIs.
How many has he got over Jose? Jose's got like 70-something.
76. So Ramirez having a very good year. He's in that MVP discussion. But right now it's Aaron Judge.
I don't think there is a discussion, unfortunately.
American League Cy Young.
Garrett Crochet, I don't know.
Seth Lugo.
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
I don't know how it isn't Seth Lugo. Frankly, he leads the American League in wins, earned run average. He's second to Ronaldo Lopez in Major League Baseball, but leads the American League in wins and earned run average.
Can you believe we had Ronaldo Lopez last year?
So how could it not be Seth Lugo?
Well, it probably is Seth Lugo. And good for Seth Lugo. That's not something anyone would have predicted.
Corbin Burns is in that discussion, but right now it's Seth Lugo, who will likely start the All-Star game. Did you ever think you'd hear those words? Seth Lugo, who's been a good pitcher.
Think he'll start the All-Star game?
Yes, if he lines up to do so.
Yeah.
That's all dependent on when he's pitching, and so many factors go into that. But he certainly earned the right to start the All-Star game.
Do you think the All-Star game should be about stars or about first-half performance?
Well, you got to do both.
I don't know. If it was a star game.
That's why they expand the rosters.
If it was a star game, Corbin Burns would start.
Managers don't look at it like that.
They don't, but maybe they should.
Nor should they.
Maybe we should get the biggest stars in our premier event.
Nor should they. Corbin Burns will pitch. Seth Lugo will pitch an inning, and that'll be it.
I get you.
He deserves to start the All-Star game.
No question.
And all the hoopla that goes into that.
Hoopla. I love it.
Right. He deserves it.
And all the hoopla.
That's how that word's said. Do you see an H in that word?
There's got to be another word that ends in A that's you pronounce it ah.
Go for it. Figure it out.
Okay. How much time do
all
we have?
The hoopla. And I'll stand by that for as long as I live.
I believe you. What about the word?
I'm not going to pronounce a word in a way that makes it doesn't make any sense.
How would you pronounce the word AHA if you have like a great idea?
Aha.
Yeah, there you go. I thought you were going to say or something weird like
aha.
That. Yeah, so it's not
aha.
Hoopla.
No, there's no H in hoopla except at the beginning.
There's several 15-letter words that end in A.
Give me one.
Acromatophilia.
I don't say acrophetamia. Acrophetamia.
You know what that means? The property of having little or no affinity for stains.
I don't like stains.
Who would?
But I've never looked at a stain and gone, nobody who has an affinity for stain.
Acroparthesia.
Do you hear anybody going through life saying, man, I'm looking for a stain, I really like them? Nobody has an affinity for them.
But you just hate them if you have.
Well, I don't have acrophetamia.
Acromatophilia.
I don't have acromatophilia.
But if you did,
but I don't have an affinity for stains
you'd
either.
be running from stains.
But I've never looked at a stain and
why
just
is that a word?
I've never looked at a stain and just wanted to run.
Someone had to for that word to exist. They really put a lot of thought into it.
There it is.
You're just not going to talk until it.
I was going to wait for the music. I felt like the music was coming.
Did we talk about anything today?
Yes, we had a great show. Max, did you enjoy the show today?
Yes, I did. I got 2 promos out of it so far.
There you go.
Sweet.
2 promos.
We'll never hear him, but that's good.
Max is great.
He is.
We hope he has a great 4th. We hope all of you do as well. We'll be back on Friday. See you then.